A few days had passed since me and Yin had walked around the town, and since then, I couldn't get her out of my mind. My train of thought would always end up going back to that day and how Yin's scarf, my scarf, warm hands, and most of all, that bright smile that had effect on me. I've never felt this way before about anyone, and I've never been so calm and nervous around another person at the same time in my life. Though it got to the point where I started bottling up my emotions. I always avoid my feelings for Yin and just kept pushing them down. I knew I could never have a chance with her, and that she'd never accept my feelings of an anxious and awkward hero like me. Compared to her, I was nobody. She was bright, erratic, and kind like Mirio, while I was me. Yin was better off with a guy like Togata. I tried to ignore that fact for so long, but the self-doubts were still there. I always knew she would do so much better than me, but my feelings for Yin never withered, no matter how hard I tried to deny them. Whenever I accepted swallowing up my feelings, I ended up getting even more fixated and attracted to her. I was stuck like a glue, like a bee's honey and a bear's hunger. There was just something about Yin that I simply didn't want to let go of. My whole world changed when I met her, and I knew I couldn't keep my emotions to myself for much longer, or else I'd drown in my own thoughts. And I knew I could never forgive myself if Yin ever were to find someone before I told her how I truly felt. The day I decided to confess my feelings for Yin, I woke up promptly. I didn't have work until later that morning, and Yin would always come to hers as early as possible. Once I arrived at her hero agency, I waited impatiently inside her office, idling as I paced back and forth in the room. But she never came. It seemed as though Yin wasn't going to show up, and when I felt her coworkers' eyes on me, recognizing me, I felt even more sick than I already was. One of them entered her office and told me Yin was coming in late, so I waited even more, though my anxiety was starting to eat away at me the whole time I was inside. I even had to sit down on the couch before my legs quivering felt too numb to even stand. Eventually, an hour after I came in, Yin wound up in her own office, carrying her stuff as if she was in a hurry. Then she noticed I was there. Yin was very delighted I came to visit her. "Tamaki, it's been a while," she greeted. "What brings you here in my office? You've never come here this early before." I quickly stood up from the couch where Yin had came in, and I followed her movements as she placed her things down neatly on top of her desk. After she finished, Yin directed all of her attention towards me, and as I was about to speak, I stared into her twinkling eyes, and I suddenly froze in my spot. The words I wanted to say to her couldn't come out. They wouldn't, because of my trembling lips and my anxiety preventing me from talking. I had to rehearse every single line I was going to say to Yin that same night, so this very exact thing wouldn't happen. But in the end, I mess up everything like I always do. Yin, I wanted to come here because I saw everyone outside looking at us through the glass of the office, huddled closer to see and hear our conversation. Yin's coworkers' eyes were glued to me especially, and my confidence rapidly decreased with every new pair of eyes that stared down at me. I was so nervous, I thought I was going to throw up. And as I kept stumbling in my own sentences, even more coworkers recognized me. They took pictures and called over more people as I was trying to confess my feelings. Moments like these where I hated being Sun Eater just wanted to make me invisible and the awkward kid everyone used to ignore in school. And I'm here because, well, I wanted to. What's wrong, Tamaki? What are you trying to say? Every word that escaped my lips ended up being incomparable mumbles. And it got so bad I had to bite my lower lip in order to stop myself from humiliating myself in front of Yin even more. I lowered my head, staring down at my feet, clenching my fist tightly. And before I let Yin say anything, I ended up bursting out of her office. I kept going until I heard her voice calling my name. My body couldn't handle any more stress. So even as I tried to stop it, it wouldn't let me go back there. Her sorrowful eyes when I couldn't express myself replayed over and over and over again in my head. I knew Yin pitied my nervous self, but I didn't blame her. I'd pitied myself too, if someone like me couldn't talk like a normal person would. She'd probably thought I was pathetic as well. If she didn't already, I had embarrassed myself in front of Yin, and I had felt like I couldn't face her again. I just wanted to crawl into bed and cry. I tried holding my tears when I ran and I made my way to my apartment building. Once there, I threw my feeble body onto the sheets, hiding under the covers. I felt so horrible and humiliated. I even had to postpone today's mission, saying I'd be late because my feelings were drowning me entirely. I was an emotional mess, and I had ruined my chances of ever being by Yin's side forever. Oh, poor baby Tamaki. Well, he will get to have his thoughts out towards you, no worries. But I do want to say I want you guys to give me some suggestions for the next character. I do read all of them, by the way, and do try looking for books for them. If they're too small, under 10, I won't do them, sadly. Or if an episode would, or if every chapter is technically too short, I will not do it either. But please give me character suggestions to do. I take basically all of them unless there's someone. But we won't get into that right now. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I love you all so much. Bye. Mwah.